This is a tutorial for Strive seated leg extension plate loaded that we have here at Iron Wolf Fitness. Just in case you guys have any questions, we'll show you how you use it. There are a couple of moving parts in here that we want to make sure we adjust it the right way so you can feel the best connected with the machine and doesn't cause any injury in a long term. So the first things that we're going to talk about most commonly for most leg extensions or leg curls, we have the pad for your legs, kind of where to sit in a position. This will determine how tall or how short somebody is. We usually want to find that comfortable position right about lower shin level. So the way we're going to do that, we have the pin on the side. We're going to pull that pin and this will allow you to move this pad up and down. And once again, this will determine depending how tall or short you are. The next thing we're going to talk about is what Strive is known for, these 3 loading horns. And what they determine is how difficult during the range of motion, where the most difficult part of the exercise feels. So the top horn is always going to be the beginning of the exercise. The middle is going to feel the hardest in the middle, and the end horn is going to feel towards the end what it feels like. So what that means is, let's just say you're trying to make the leg extension exercise feel the hardest at the beginning, but towards the middle and the end feel a little bit lighter. We would load the first horn, right? Most of the time people load the middle horn, kind of feel the most connected with it in the sense of feel like a more of a traditional leg extension. But once again, this will determine on your training and what you're trying to achieve. So keep that in mind. Each loading horn will feel a little bit different for where it feels the hardest during the range of motion of the exercise. The next thing to talk about is the position of the seating. And once again, the seat allows us how far do we sit in the machine for that axis of rotation. As always, remember, you want to have axis of rotation going through the joint, meaning so we have the middle of the rotation of the machine, so when it going through the joint. If you sit in front of it or behind it, it might not feel as natural. It might feel a little weird or even could be painful depending on your limitations or if you have any knee issues. So the way we're gonna move the seat, there's a pin in the back. I'm gonna pull that pin and this will allow the seat to be slid back and forth, thus putting you in the best possible position. We're gonna get in it just like that. The last thing to talk about is we have the pin here on the right, and essentially what this does, it allows how snug this pad comes in, also elongating or reducing the range of motion. Where do you want that machine to engage? So once I pull that pin, as you can tell, this will allow this pad to come in a little bit closer towards me, giving me the longer range of motion. Most people want to take advantage of that because once again, the longer range of motion, the more damage we can cause through the micro tears or grow and cause a more effective set. But once again, you're going to have to kind of play around with it, see if this feels comfortable with you. But yes, and it is labeled 1 through 4, and once again, you can feel it in the pad how far it comes in. Other times also, the way we can take advantage of this adjustment is when we have very or lots of plates loaded and it feels very heavy in the machine. To get in and get out sometimes could feel a little tight. So what we can do is before we get in, simply have that pad relieve there, pull it a little further, and once we're ready to kind of close that in, we're gonna pull that pin. Once again, bring that pad a little closer to us. So now that we are ready, we have adjusted the seat position for the axis of rotation, so our knees sit right in the middle, so it's not in front or behind, and it feels very connected. The way we're gonna do, we have the handles on the left and right hand side. I'm gonna go ahead and perform the exercise. Just like that. Once you have completed your set, we're gonna set the weight down. You can lean a little forward, pull that pin, thus allowing the pad to move freely, kind of letting go and not being as snug, and much easier to get out of the machine once you have completed with your sets. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, just let us know. We'll help you out.